Ghana yede na Ghana ya yede nyina na ye nioma mienu so na ama Ghana yede delegate system a wo mo se ye twam no won se Ziega sabe kasa bi mo na ye da bia ye kasa Ziega de obi akasa ne ye mfi na Ziega nko ade wo kasa ye befi no Ziega nko ade so obi akasa kromu ha na ye se ye mfi na Ziega nko ade wo kasa ye wo se ye gine so e wo se ye fi ni kire se ne nsem bi a ye a wo ka no sebe mpredu asansem no e ya na bi mfa kwam Ziega nsem bi a ya no wo ka no ya na ensem ni bi wo ho a enye no kore enu nti na da ne da nyina ye mpese nipa ebetu futuro de agu nipa ni nti no se Ziega e kasa da bi akwabra e wo se ye dai ye ba ne ye be ka kire manfo no na ye yi na se atwede ma ne hunu se ensem a Ziega e kan no kore ni mu na nsem a wo ka no emfa kwan mu ni ade a na Ziega kasa bi mu about delegate system a ho nyoma ni ade na ye se abolish delegate system ni ho Ziega ba be kasa ye betie nsem a Ziega de tudwa nsem a Ziega ne ye kan ye na ye betie ne nkoma wokodi ye ne ye bebomu tokura hodo na ewo mu nyina no ne ya kele jandam no tin ya ne ye say of course the journey always remains the same, very clear, very undefeated. Obi ene ho betumi ede ye chiwe ato from because we stand for the truth and the truth remains the ultimate thing. Enu nti da bia betena ha eye no kure no ene ye ne mo eka na the ade kura sama Ghana ye debiem eye the Masloc, former Masloc eye CEO Mamia ye friend no ye ye friend no Miss Sedina Christine Tamaklo ano ye former Masloc CEO abusia ensem bi ahase ye bobaba na ene enya me wanwasa chema wontumi ha bo so mienu kura wonni wa afiase wa wonni former Masloc no mede ne mfo nyina to screen so a wo hwe bi na mami na oye boss, former boss anaso ye CEO edema eye former Masloc na former Masloc CEO na after the 10 no ye NDC ni ena ye chi ni begina court to say wa cause financial loss to the state over eye 90 million Ghana cedis, which is kanisi kan etwam de ho 900 billion and wa cause financial loss to the state. Court nso esa de tabo ye still in kronobo e de bo no ema ni nyina achi mami court e convict no into prison custody with a hard labor so onko demu 10 years na 10 years no di asem na asi e de na ekoso de na yati yes Sedina Tamaklo ene court jane se wompan ba bi mfa wonye boni bia yatena se bie ma ha Oscar Media Plus midi the little Oscar oba no subscribe to channel no like video no na wa comment enso e wo video no ho de ama ye ne nyina yatimi adi nkomoko ye ne mo ni akire ya adwo bi akire na adwen na ma democracy no etimi aye adwuma kabi ma menka bi no etimi aye adwuma ye yetena se say dia no so hu ni say it is the journey ye nyina ye wo so say oh my Ghana no ebeye ye biemo and we believe that if the country is going to work ese efatamini umienu say e wo say ye appoint a leader bia ono na betima ye dey ama man na ye na leader no so woni hwan da bia ye di ho nkomo ti minim say umienu me no umienu di yenim onipa kra wo sefata say ono e na also be di man nanim ma my Ghana etimi fa no ntuma pa edifra now yen shas here with Ziega Ziega babe kasa na Ziega say what is nkrofo bi bo say honorable credit a compare kwa Agyapong ne supporters bo say ni ade a na Ziega say emfa ho say ye delegate system ni ade free ho senka ekoye all card bearing members obi atimi to abani bi mpo anka still na Dr. Mahmoud Baumia obebo yewura credit a compare kwa Agyapong obebo na hwefom baabi na ye wonya asasem bi ka kire Ziega ye wonsem bi ka kire Ziega na emom mepese ye kotie nsem a Ziega eka ye nyina awie na ye kotie Ziega anu asem ye wi ye gina na anu asem na nkasa so nya ka asem de a kire Ziega kose ye moye tirimu nka asem ye mpese ye de sade na na obi ya o se ye emotions ni ade a no ye mpese ye de emotions ebe ye nioma bia na emom ye pese ye kotie Ziega onu ananumu asem a wotena eye Kesben TV Kesben Radio so kan ye Ziega numu asem ye kotie Ziega wi akwabena na nsa na yaba betutumu tokura hodro wo Ziega numu asem ni nyina mu because Ziega wakasa bia the inconsistencies in nekasemu no eya na eboa ye Emiyehu, of course, this is somebody I ain't mean taking it serious. Emiyehu, this is somebody or you're full of putting jandam stories out there. This is somebody I say opese or yen who say on ken no or nyeni po beti mabedi mampenyi ni adia. That is why all the time we have to listen to what Ziega no Babeka. You and ye so anybody in come now. Yentie nsema Ziega at the Ekotudwa Ewo Kesben TV.
Oba you the court say the delegate system. It is against the principles of the democracy in this country. Enti omu adikrontia ese nipa ketua bi kokoyi delegates and I say ekoyi leader like a flag bearer and a parliamentary candidate edema a constituents of this country. They don't understand, so they take you to Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruling number 5-2 in favor of them. Now Supreme Court say August the filing the baba so that yeni na ye beti asiye at the courtiers at the ama Supreme Court to dinner so omo yes ado. And me I can't wait. I can't wait for that interpretation baba. They make what I say. I can't wait. I'll come to the reason why I can't wait. Listen. This is Ibai, Matisen Kofo, eye pana senka bantemwa anke bia Dr. Baumia one samba flag bearer and farmer new patriotic party. Just ma make you. Ana misre. Sa really we say, o do opa be san koto aba. NPP ni bia support to NPP. Whether I card bearing member or not card bearing member, you kotwaba na Dr. Baumia besa win. I'm telling you. Si you kotwaba today, Ghana ni NPP ni bian to be. Dr. Baumia besa win. Dr. Baumia be win a compare kwa Agyapong. Oh, and Alan Chamati, Kayan Kalan Timmy winning. I'm telling you about fact. Si esa toya, si tonesa, Dr. Baumia be biti Alan Chamatin. Ye ni di eka. Ye conform people should not fall for propaganda. Ye conform ye tie ni di ankofoka. Eti sadia ne je non-starter. Se Akufo do call 3 times no bia make attempt to change him. Say ene ye kotwaba. Ne say the whole NDC for be sa to ma President Mahama. Ye biemu a no be abesa to my President Mahama. The NPP for now super to my Dr. Mahmoud Babia. As simple as ABCD. And I'm telling you, ye blame CCA, Dr. Baumia will win overwhelmingly at the expense of a compare kone ye fene say ala chamati. Now, the reason why I'm saying that I can't wait for them to bring the reason why I'm going to take that decision. And they say, one, that Article 62 of the 1992 Constitution that talks about the qualification of a president. Say, Ghana pursue the president. One, as a so ye Ghana by birth. Two, we are a team called 40 years and above. Be qualified to be a member of parliament. It be a presidential pardon. On and on and on and on. There's nowhere that is stated say that person should join a political party. The American writer say the Constitution does not recognize any political party in the elections. Why did the framers of the Constitution do that? Because political parties are private entities. Kodopra down kwa pese me president. One man the requirement. E kwanya be fa so Ghana for beto amount. Ena ehia no. Ene de ohia. The American writer say. And we think that look, there's a certain group of me a fan club. There's a certain group of me a fan say political parties. Or more numbers and or more ideology, policy, vision, and numbers. It means abide to the ideology, their numbers. So I need their numbers to come to parliament. I need their numbers to become a president. It means that I use their symbol instead of me as an individual. Me may use some symbol, ne your friend say headphone no. Me kwa use some symbol no. And we will be about parliament. And as I call your president. And that political party is a private entity. And you think that will be the NDC manifesto. Article 6 Was the establishment of the party? What is the establishment of the party? Was the founder of the party is the Jerry John Wallace. On can say the state. The founder of the party is the Jerry John Wallace. Then it starts to reason say it's a private entity. So the private entity, they have their own mode of choosing their leaders. They have their own way of choosing their own leaders. Because the political parties are not being funded by your friend say the states, and the state now be decided their man. Men are mayor political party, more be constitution. Meaning their mayor, the American what I say, you can't decide for me how to choose my leader. And you see, I tell my bit to I say, almost it's against the principles of our democracy.
Yeah.
Then you bet me I say, okay, NDC for our President Mahama, every northern region, then another northern Asababe president or contest here no wa winning NDC. The another northern air contest here. But see at the Supreme Court Abeka say it is against the principles of the democracy because Argentina not necessarily NDC for choose omo. The American what must say somebody can also take you to Supreme Court to seek out for that interpretation or whatever because they will start detecting and deciding for the the political parties. It will be one is so parties, you know, democracy and nothing as a president say we ministers it should be a regional balanced a democracy. The American what I say with the constitution it is a Supreme Court to be deciding my political party there. Then they can be bitch will say and one day the Supreme Court to be me I say most our party way mon for elect woman na e mo babeye flag bearer no woman na ya can for woman na for northern region eti any decided their mom say it is against the principles of the democracy.
Okay,
I think that they have to come again.
Okay,
and me ba confo say hey and yi ye fere say be masika sem to ate afeni ya sia asem no. I'm telling you afeni ya sia asem no. Let me show you small one then I'll go. Monday will continue. Today, lawyer Sebenye, who call the constituency, lawyer, Nipe to Abama NPP, say they are about over 20,000.
They should be
about 40,000 vote for a new patriotic party. You go to the constituency, now everybody, let's call it 40,000 people who vote to elect a PC, a parliamentary candidate. Now, you can vote for their everything, their request, who yes, you can farm more. Afena the groups ahim for no be decide ya catch now say so person ya to aba ma bia be 6 unit classroom block my be si hospital we my kofa we bra enu kwa be ye more a card than that according to vote buying is not only for the envelope we fa ka koto aba ma me and enu kwa dey vote buying there are so many ways sir ya dey checking vote buying afena asofo ahimfo the opinion leaders our constituencies will start grouping people and tell you that if you want to be a member of parliament, go and bring this. If you want to be a member of parliament, go and bring this. So Kojo Prako Dankwa will give us the hospital beds, a cheap compound, what maybe $100,000 or $200,000. Okay. Then lawyer Sabe will give you a 6 unit classroom block, which will cost maybe 20,000. Then they will go for Kojo Prako Dankwa. Me see, I think that the best say and solve the problem.
Okay.
The problem I person.
All right, so that is Ziega. Any ekotie no. Na adeba kwa eye na ye me ya wo Ziega ho say a lot of time when he is talking like this na or tie mu na say eye Ziega say asem na wo kan ne kwan so a no aya na ye me wawa. You see, a lot of these things are Ziega nyina no abusua. A lot of them it doesn't make sense. Seven previous and dodo na Ziega nyina nyansa bi anim. Ade ntia me ka se nyansa bi anim ni say one utie Ziega ka se mu nyina na ene ne submission or ma ye ya. One thing that a catcher nyina ne say Ziega is not in favor of sa delegate system na Supreme Court say watwam no. Ziega emfo aso. According to Ziega na ebiemu, utie deɛ wɔka ne yɛ Ziega pɛ so wɔkyerɛ sɛ votes buying nti ene yɛse delegate system yɛntwam na yɛnyɛ all card bearing members betimi ato aba no. According to Ziega no, ɔse ɛno kora sika bɛwɔ anumu akyɛn sɛdeɛ na delegate system no sika wɔ anumu no. Afei na votes buying no ɛba bɛyɛ akɛseɛ because afei na ahemfo no ɛba bɛ promise ɛyɛ yɛka ne sɛ ahemfo no ba bɛka kyerɛ parliamentary candidate and maybe a presidential candidate say any ebesi we wa hamaye any ebeye say wa hamaye. Ziega the enti America cho say nyansa bi ani one my yenye small analysis bi mfa Ziega wa hanom. One say fa ne say me constituency amete. Yemfa ne say mete mo Madina constituency nim. Eye Lankwantanai constituency nim na me wo. Na eye parliamentary candidate abasa yento abaman mo no me parliamentary candidate ebia emfama MPP. Ome nipa miensa no wo mu gina. Na parliamentary candidate abasa yento aba mfama no. Na ono ne mra meye parliamentary candidate on the ticket of MPP a. Na se okohu ebia baabi a mete, okohu ohina wote ho. Na okosi sebempreduasa. Okosi toilet bi ede ma ekuro na. Afe no ohine ne be sori abebo dawuru se me a metimi baabi ne memeto aba emfama nipa asimesi na. Because ohine no openly entimi mmeka se embegina simpie so mbegina platform so se koto aba mani party mesi because ohine bi obaye say bia na che o involve ne ho in active politics of which the traditional council no wo mo emra ne tia enti Ziega analysis awoye it doesn't make sense anyway. It make sense bia yen kan che Ziega sa it make sense and even Ziega analysis awoye say ye be fa ne say be make sense mpo na enu nti ene PC for eye parliamentary candidate for ese wo mbesi toilet wo mbesi schools na me agina so de ato aba yi wo mo say ne mo nko represent eye party we a na the development beba sanke no ne ye chen say ye betam 50 million am obi so won fanfa car enkoto aba mame ana ye betam TV am obi ana ye betam fridge de am obi ene ne mienu de hin na nkanyansa wom. So Ziega please come again me say wo kasa bia ye bebo mu tokuro loopholes na wo wonsem ni nyina mu ye betwe apiese ni abomu tokuro because in some woken in no sabin preduasa nyansa bi anim it doesn't make sense. Again Ziega chiremwa Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia any era Kennedy a compre ko Japan what say ebinumu jubilate se senke ba ntamo a anka yade se Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia obesa cream honorable Ken a compre ko Japan be cream na hwefom asa wani aba no na nenti na wunim ne saa na wani abre wo ho a wasori tia se Supreme Court delegate system a ye free ho no asa wo mfo aso ye die ntia wani bra abre wo ho nyina is because onim ses wo kina bi papa bi be yese ni yesi atwam yenkoto aba ye foforo ne mawu kra nkaye eno nti na Ziega ni abre ne ho no koso onim se wo kina bi yesa sori ba na se yese ene MPP kra mo primaries amoto ye di yi presidential ho ahwan no ye twam ni ade eti yenkoto ne foforo ni ya what it means e ka kire Ziega ene se anhwa wo mutirate Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia wo nya sa akonya ne mabiem eti ene ne sa ade a asem na aba asem na aba pa eti ene yenye se ni ade a na yenye se Ziega yenim ne ewu ye ni na se mosimu nsuro na mosimu free se Supreme Court aka mu free se ni ade a mopa mon call sa election no null and void na yentwam na yenkoto abane foforo na all party members card bearing members obi ameto abane bi ne yenhwede ebesi kuruma ni yenhwede ebesi kuruma we PRB keke na woye ena ase paymaster job ye tuaka enti wanya wo chena bi wonidi wanya chena bi kwanse ne ma ena nam so maziga de woye ne momunim pa se ene the people's favorite, the masses' favorite, is no other person than Honorable Kennedy Akompre Japan. Who doesn't know this? Obianim Sanu Krewi. Obianim Sanu Krewi. Now, Ziega say people should not fall for propaganda because Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia any day, anytime, or no nebetimi ababe diabaneso, and also betimi bijina asa wene on any day, anytime. If there is anybody who does propaganda in this country, number one person is you, Ziega. Ye pobi nsema oka enye no kre. There are no facts in nsema oka. Nanso nano den won nsema oka ho. It is no other person than you, Ziega. And if there is anybody to be talking about propaganda, Ziega nsese nke free wo hokra na eba si ye ka propaganda mu propaganda Ziega nke nsese ye wo ho na propaganda sem ne free ba enti se wo po bi a o involve ne ho in propaganda sem na oka nsem a enya no kure ede tu ni pass na no ada abeka kire se wona boken efre president Mahama se wo fa chema wontumi bone enche no enso ye hwehwe mu na nsem ni nyina anya no kure enti who does propaganda more than you when ye propaganda chen sabe mpreduasa Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia bibi kakra wode amamo ene kakra monya amudi ntino mutimi hwe papa nanu na monka no kure nkyere no mutimi hwe papa nanu monka no kure nkyere no nemo mo make sure say ene ebia 20 na ye kra no na boken wo oba the base ne ade a ntino nya ade a na sanke ya ade say papa ne nyese oba the base ena kwote party ni mo ena 2028 mo kona mo kolusu wie na mo se beto abafofora be yi presidential candidate ena nka mo behu say yes ena nka nsema yete ha ka bebrebe no ka mo beje adi so Ziega de nensam no woka bia ye beba bebom tokuru ye be kire Ziega say nsema wo ka bebrebe ni nyina no sabe predators I want some Ziega it doesn't make any sense etino say investigation so say read the also we ye na we ni ye ansa no ba betena akonya ne so say wo ba be kasa agu microphone no also we ni ye ansa no ba cause ye de Oscar Media Plus de nya de betwe ma anytime I would be bia ye be kan chema wuntumi de ye a o say eye kofo ne ade kwabna kofo afre ni sei no eye ya ne ye ne yesi ndo bi enya no kure obi amfre obi anka se wonye sei ni ade a ade chi na Ziega asa betena ho say bi chire mfoforo say no kra wanka say case ni ye sei no na eye ken efre eye Mahama se wonye sei masa ye nyankoda wo kurum ha afa no obesesa na no enti okasa du ye be chire mu du ne ye yintro na efiri mu ni nyina efiri cause ne nsema wo kan dodo na ye kontompo ne wotwa dodo na enya no kure enti oka bia ye beba ne ya be yi kontompo sem ni nyina ye yi ni nyina de efiri that is what we will do from now that is what we will mark you boot for boot ye no be delay ne pepepepe ye nkantron to so ye ni watem but why wonu mu nsema wo kan no we are going to mark you boot for boot that is what we are going to do here. Now, yantoaso ni yanko yanim. Another interesting case ewo Ghana sisi Sedina Tamaklo oye former Masloc CEO. Oh my Ghana no de areho na aside na reho mu nyina no. O my no eni daso wo ho nyina ene honorable Kennedy akompre kwa Japan. Now, the former Masloc CEO abusia ma mempe story no ema ye nyina na ye kenkan story ni ye na ye hu sede ensem no esi eko na unim se former Masloc CEO no court ejeli no convicted no into prison 10 years with hard labor na eno na me no wo kasa court eja ne so mpani ba bi mfa na nsem ahodo ede to ne so nyina no ye hwehwe mu na mse bibi papa bi animu ko say the Court of Appeal has acquitted and discharged former Chief Executive Officer of the Microfinance and Small Loan Center, Masloc, Sedina Tamaklo, overturning her earlier conviction and 10-year prison sentence. The court set aside that previous judgment after ruling that the prosecution failed to prove the charges against her beyond reasonable doubt. Her legal team had argued that the charges were fundamentally flawed and that the evidence presented was insufficient to support the convictions. As a result, the Court of Appeal cleared her of the offenses of which, and as for which she had previously been convicted. Enti eno Sedina Tamaklo ene court eyini se ompani ba bi mfa no wonye boni bia. Now, this is the reason why I'm a many didn't go to a fiat. Very brief. The Accra High Court sentenced the former Chief Executive Officer CEO of the Masloc, Sedina Christine Tamaklo, to 10 years in prison for stealing, procurement breaches, and causing 19 million Ghana cedis financial loss to the state. So this is the reason why Sedina Tamaklo, you're sentencing into prison custody for 10 years. Now, Mami way, you're sentencing 10 years no ni Ghana. Ojane ye kotina US. Enti nipa no ofiri se wonye bone, e de na bemene dwane se wokwa kotina baby. Se no ofiri se wonye bone a, ti se de kinoforiata ɛsɛ wɔnyɛ bɔne na nso yɛsɛ braga na ne yɛni wasɛm a wɔso wɔ mma enti kana maame ne nyɛ bɔne a what at all is the reason why Asadina Tamaklo ɛkɔtena US a yɛde ne ba ɔmma ansa na finally yɛ extradite ne de ne ba Ghana ɛma US ɛne Ghana ka bɔ mu extradite ne de ne ba so wɔn bɛ serve ɛyɛ ne jail sentence a wɔba yɛ ya eni bosomi mmienu bosomi baako kra doubt yɛsɛ court ayi ne sɛ ne nhwehwɛ mu ne ade ne charges no a yɛde bɔɔ no ne ɛho conviction yɛde maa no it is not enough. Now this is making people believe that maame no another chema wontumi aha bosomi mmienu kra wontwa ɛwɔ afiase. Of course, and obi ogidi say bia onye wrong. Aha chema wontumi bosomi mmienu kra chema wontumi ntwa wɔ afiase. Because yetima yi Sedina Tamaklo di na babonten dia ene chema wontumi beba. Because chema wontumi ne maami why na ye more powerful. The only thing is that maami na aban na was when this na was so. In the MPP na di ni two mu. And MDC aba no maba be you know. Well. Now, for press release aba bontin free the Attorney General office. From the Attorney General office aba bontin say actually say this is a very quick one ye shooting video ya ne ba ye. Or say Attorney General to appeal decision of the Court of Appeal in Republic versus Sedina Tamaklo. The attention of the Attorney General has been drawn to a decision of the Court of Appeal acquitting the former Chief Executive Officer of the Microfinance and Small Loan Center, Masloc, Ms. Sedina Tamaklo, of all the charges brought against her. Ms. Tamaklo was charged with 78 counts of various offenses, including conspiracy to stealing, conspiracy to cause financial loss to the state, causing financial loss to the state, causing loss to public property, improper payments of public funds, unauthorized commitments resulting in financial obligations to the government, money laundering, and breaches of Public Procurement Act. Nipa ba ne boni ni o. Ye gina so ye de sentence no. 10 years na ye na ye say charges ye de boni nyina no court ne se ba kra ni ho amami. Why from so wo ho. She was tried and convicted in absentia by the Accra High Court Financial Division, presided over by Her Ladyship Justice Efia Sewa Asaributri, J.A. sitting as an additional High Court judge. Upon her conviction, she was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment. The public opposed the appeal by filing written submissions, contending that the appeal lacked merit and ought to be dismissed. Having received notice of the Court of Appeal decision, the Attorney General has directed the Director of Public Prosecution to immediately file a notice of appeal to the Supreme Court, together with an application for stay of execution of the judgment pending the determination of the appeal. The Attorney General remains committed to the due process of law and is confident that the appeal before the court will be succeed. Now, this is a letter from the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice. Also, Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice. Any free woman China and also Etumi Aba. Na yedi anyway ka na yemrasem okoka bi sesi e beka se contempt ni ade mfa hin kosi hinti be gya momo. Na emom se maame atime pie dia e na chema wontumi wani daso. Monka kire chema wontumi so wani daso so no so be pie. Yede ne yede man ne ye ne sa no. Yede ade ne yede o man Ghana ne yede ye ne sa. Abusu yade besi na o my Ghana no kasi wudi a kira nsam ne doso well me dey add little Oscar na me adom esa na mo betina se biem ne esa na matwetwe nko mobile ma remfi se obe like video no obe subscribe to video no na afei so de aka bia no watimi aboa ama support na mo dey maye no timi akoso ne ade a na of course na no other me say man be frame na wo yes Oscar na about to say the way I would nyoma na ekono little Oscar na ase efro na be ya nketwam ma hu se wasa be try to video back be ase ne ade ase e be ya kem for big boss Oscar. In fact, these are some kind of encouragement a man for the maye etimi maye that morale no say yento aso yenko yanim na yenya de ye na people are appreciating the kind of work that we are doing. So ye nuanom, ye maamenom, ye papanom, womo te abuchi, womo te Ghana ha, womo support whatever that we are doing. Ye da mu nyinaa mase for the support that you keep giving to us. Nyankopon hyira mo, Nyankopon nya mo kese, woma de obi ye bia no nton supa, emfa ngudi obi a ye bia. So nti ye de besi hanom, na nyame adom esa ne mo atena se biem. Midin, the little Oscar ha, Oscar Media Plus. Continue to stay with us.